I even start this?
Think about how many times I have fallen.
Whew, a lot of times. Lots of times. Now, a shift is coming. There's a shift coming. The shift is coming. Shift is coming. And that's because the nodes are changing signs. That's part of it. The second part of it is that when they do shift, they're going to square up with this friction of Pluto, and that's a big deal. Well, it's complicated. Yeah, I would say so.
There's a little bit of drama because this is true exploration.
The nodes are going to be in there for 18 months, but the first thing they see when they enter is Pluto, the planet of power and transformation, and in that anaretic degree, baby. So that's significant. The third thing that happens right after that is we have this new moon in Cancer, which is very powerful. It's in opposition to Pluto, and it's in square to the nodes. So there's like this cardinal cross. I am going to talk a little bit about the geopolitical situation that's going on in the world, because that's a big part of the world. It's part of our lives. And if you're not into that, that's cool, no problem. I'll catch you in the next one. Okay. That all being said, let's get into it. So the biggest thing that's happening in July for sure is the shift of the nodes, because that's going to be the next 18 months of an entirely new set of energy. That initiates on July 12th. And what even are the nodes? What they are is the point where the moon's orbit crosses the ecliptic. And that's how we get the eclipses in certain signs. And they're always exactly 180 degrees away from each other. And they stay in that same axis for 18 months. So you might have heard them called the north and the south nodes of the moon. That's typical. Karmic destiny points, Rahu and Ketu. In evolutionary astrology, they point to your past lives and your future lives, etc., etc. This shift is going from Scorpio and Taurus into the axis of Aries and Libra. We have had the nodes in Scorpio, which is the yin in-breath version, the watery version of Mars, and Taurus, which is the yin in-breath, earthy version of Venus. And now we're going into this out-breath energy, like breathing in, breathing out. This is the breathing out. This is the fire energy of Aries and the air energy of Venus. The last 18 months was more contemplative. It was more emotional. It was figuring out what the heck happened in that strange period from 2020 to 2021. And understanding that primal relationship with the earth, to life, to death, and what we need to release, what we need to use as fertilizer for moving forward. So it was kind of a protective time. Resources like food and homes were in flux. Wood cost so much money. The monetary system has been a major issue. Financial things have been at the forefront. There's been the introduction of the CBDC, centralized bank digital currency. This is what's going to happen. The cash is going to get eliminated, and so will any personal ability to manage your own money without the government knowing what's going on with everything you do. So that's coming. And we've seen a massive amount of inflation in the last 18 months, and debt is through the roof. Globally, personally, is massive. It's higher than it's ever been in history. The money, everything's so expensive. It's crazy. Another huge part of the last 18 months has been this gender conversation. What does it mean to be male or female? There's been a focus on transgender youth and what is ethically right to do with hormone therapy or no hormone therapy. There's a whole bunch of sexual stuff going on, gender and sexual stuff going on. It's very scorpionic. And all these things, all these issues, wherever you stand on them, they've been thematically Scorpio and Taurus things. That's where we've come from. So now we're going to another version of Venus and Mars. This is going to be more action-based. The last was more like, how do you feel? This one is like, what you gonna do? On that duality of Aries and Libra, what it brings up are topics of assertion versus compromise, fighting versus cooperation, independence versus relationship, decision versus vacillation. Oh, what did I do? What am I supposed to do? And what it really boils down to is the I am versus the we are. The North Node energy in Aries generally is asking the world to attribute more independence, more self-awareness, more courage, trust your own desires and go towards that action. It's not thinking about things anymore. It's like, what are we gonna do? It's an expression of that I am energy. And it's gotta be balanced with the South Node in Libra. Now that is fairness, what is right, and cooperation. So justice is going to play a huge role in the next 18 months, as Libra is going to be hosting the South Node, and the South Node is the release point. So likely there's going to be stuff going on with the justice system that's significant, rights, laws, that kind of stuff. The major players are probably going to be legislation on the social media to try and, put a cap on whatever freedom people have to say what they want to say on social media in the guise of protecting us. That's currently already being proposed in the European Union, if I understand correctly, that Twitter is going to be getting a lot of censorship on it under the guise of protection, and that's really just censorship. That brings in like that shady stuff, right? This major thematic light is being shed on that because Pluto is connecting to these squares of the node. It's a reminder that we can't just sit back and let things happen to us. We must be participants in our own lives. Continue to be awake, continue to be alive in your world. That's the requirement of cardinal energy. You must do something, whatever it is you have to do. Now, to be clear, Pluto doesn't give any Fs at all about anything. That's the archetype. Does what it has to do.
Like, whoa.
Doesn't care what anybody has to say. Doesn't care, doesn't need your input. So that means if Pluto wants to show the secrets, the secret dark side of the manipulation and the power, and that can make us feel something frictional, can make us feel angry, that's potential for this square. So that's something that could happen. Pluto is power, and sometimes that biggest power move is to reveal what's going on in reality. It's to lift the veil, discover what's going on behind the curtain. The power is just borrowed, right? It's just borrowed. So all that really big stuff can be kind of scary to think about, because it is. But it's an opportunity to become stronger and braver and initiate change in the positive way, to be more honest, to be more clear with yourself, to see through manipulation and secrets that are being used to control the world. So Libra says, hey, this is not balanced. Dignity and lawful rights need to be taken into account, but the individual also matters. So that brings us to the Cancer new moon. And this particular new moon is really loaded up with all this energy. The nodes are going to be squaring the new moon, and Pluto is opposing the new moon. Cancer for me is intuition. It's the motherland. It's the feeling the parent has to protect their child. And that's where it's coming in. It's a little tender. So this is intuition at maximum, over the max, push it to 11 kind of thing.
Right across the board. 11, 11,
and most of
11,
the
and then
amps go up to 10.
Exactly.
All the cardinal signs are on 11.
Well, it's one louder, isn't it? It's not 10.
Take a deep breath. It's all going to be okay anyways. The new moon is a time for setting intentions, for planting a seed for the future. And with an understanding of these major shifts coming within the next 18 months, it's time for you to really sit with your core values. What are your values? Where in life do you need to put more courage out there into you and your voice and what you need to do in order to get this action in your life to bring a feeling of equilibrium? It's just so fascinating how things appear to be oppositional. Fighting for peace or making waves in order to find balance or an equilibrium. These aren't opposite things. They're in an interflow. They're dependent on each other for existence. What are you going to stand up for and what are you not going to stand for anymore? Not just in the world, but in your own life, in the things that happen to you day to day. This whole entire astrology thing, it happens on all the levels. It happens on this massive global political level, through to the national level, through to the local, to your personal life, to your own personal experience. So it's all coming through Russian doll style. We're all just in this together trying to figure it out, and it's sometimes really hard to be human. It's hard to live through these big changing times. Okay, so I'm in my car, I'm editing this video, and yeah, I was having a rough day that day. That's not easy today. So I did try to record the whole thing again. I did another full attempt at making that video. This is the 5th time I've done this video. 5th time. And I got a call from my family saying that the car that we bought for our kid had broken down on the side of the road in another town. No. I had to stop what I was doing and go do that and go help them and whatever. My husband was amazing. He got the car. Basically, the shocks or something fell off the back. I don't know. I'll put a picture of it for people who understand this kind of stuff. And he is incredible. He MacGyvered it and we were able to get the car back home. But on the way home, I saw this word, and it was the word honor. And that was sticking with me the whole rest of the time. Honor and integrity. So that is what came through, and that's what I've been thinking about a lot since I started making this video. And I think that's what's going to be the main theme of what's being asked of us during the next 18 months. Where is your integrity? Where's the integrity of the world? Where's honor? Where's truth? What is this? And how can we be a part of bringing that to the forefront? Just to end this video in less of a downer mode and more of an empowering mode, that's the key word I want you to take with you, honor and integrity, as this nodal shift happens. That's what Pluto's asking for, I think.
Humankind can go out and explore these worlds, and to see Pluto be revealed just before our eyes.
I really do like you just the way you are. You're in my car, and I'll talk to you guys next time.